Okay, so this is perfectly set up to solve by substitution because one of the variables is already isolated. If you have that, definitely do it this way because wherever you see y in the other equation, namely here, we're going to rewrite it, replacing y with negative 7x plus 10. So I'm going to go ahead and do that over here. So on your paper, let's do that. Rewrite this equation, but replace y with negative 7x plus 10. So 3x plus 2 times the quantity instead of y, negative 7x plus 10. Okay, equals 9. So now we're going to work with this equation that only has x in the equation, no longer has y. All right. So it's a multi-step equation. We got to distribute, combine all of that stuff, but no longer do we have y's. So let's start distributing 2 in here to get the ball rolling. So everyone, would you please distribute 2? Oops. Let me fix that. 2 times negative 7x is negative 14x. And 2 times 10 is 20. Okay, check my math there. Does that look good? Looks good. Let's combine the 3x and the negative 14x. That's negative 11x plus 20 equals 9. Okay, let's get rid of the 20. So what's that going to give us? Negative 11x equals 9 and negative 20. So that's negative 11. So what's going to be the value for x that we want after solving it? 1. Yeah, divide negative 11 on both sides. X is 1. So the x value is 1. Okay, we're almost there. We just have to figure out y. And for that, let's go back to this equation, y equals negative 7x plus 10. That equation's already set up to solve for y right away. So I'm going to just move my work over here. And I'm going to replace x with 1. So let's do that. Y equals negative 7 times 1 plus 10. So negative 7 times 1, negative 7 plus the 10. That gives us a final answer of 3. So now we know the y value is 3. Okay. So let's give that a, go ahead and let's submit that. Yep. Okay. We have one more to do by substitution. So we're on to example 2. Okay. So this is our second example. X equals 4y minus 7. And the second equation is 2x plus 9y equals negative 31. Again, you want to solve this by substitution because one of the variables is already isolated, x. So that means wherever x is in your other equation, namely here, we substitute in 4y minus 7. So let's do that. Let's take it this way. Replace x with 4y minus 7. So we're going to get 2 parentheses 4y, take away 7, and then add the plus 9y. and that's going to equal negative 31. Okay? So let's solve that equation, same process. Distribute, combine. So let's do it. 8 times y minus 14 plus 9 times y equals negative 31. Okay? And combine the 8y and the 9y, and that will give us 17y. Take away 14 equals negative 31. All right. So let's get rid of negative 14. All right. So let's add 14. And that's going to give us 17y equals, what's negative 31 take away 14? Negative 17. And hopefully by now we can see dividing by 17 will give us y a value of negative 1. So this time we figure out the y value first. It's negative 1. Okay? And now we have to figure out what x is. So we're going to take that first equation we used to substitute with and replace negative 1 for y in that one. So let's say x equals 4 times negative 1, take away 7. So that would be 4 times negative 1 is negative 4 minus 7. Should be negative 11. Check my math. Is that negative 11? Okay. Let's try that. Negative 11, comma, negative 1. Let's try it out. Okay. All right. I'm going to press a back button because you're going to have 5 of those to do. And then I want to go on to example 3. So everyone go to example 3, and that's an elimination method equation we're going to solve. You'll see why. Okay. So this is level 1 elimination. This is where all we have to do is multiply through by one number. And this one's super easy, actually. Okay, remember on the elimination method, what we want to look for, guys? We don't have either of the equations isolated for x or y, right? We don't have x equals or y equals. They're both in standard form. But looking at your x values and your y values, where can we just multiply one of the equations by a number so we get opposite coefficients? On x or on y? On y, I would agree. Okay? So Jesse, you look like you wanted to tell me, what do I multiply through by?
By negative 1.
Where?
On either.
On either. Yeah, it won't matter. Which one do you guys want to try, the top or the bottom with negative 1?
The top.
Top. I would go for the top. Kind of smaller numbers. So top equation, distribute a negative 1. Rewrite both of them. So here we go. I'm going to make this positive 2x plus 9y equals positive 3. And rewrite the second one. Okay. So we got that. And we did all of this because now we have 9y in the top equation, negative 9y on the bottom. They zero out. And we have negative 5x equals negative 30. Okay, so now all we have to do is divide by -5, so x equals 6. Double check my work. Is that going to be 6? Is that what you got? All right, let's put a 6 here. Okay, so we want 6 here. What we have to do now is take one of your equations. It doesn't matter which one. Replace 6 for x and then figure out what the y value is going to be. I think I'm going to pick this one, 2x plus 9y equals 3. Take that equation, replace, instead of 2 times x, make it 2 times 6. Plus 9y. So it doesn't matter which equation. Remember we talked about that last semester? Make this 12 plus 9y equals 3. And let's get rid of this 12. So we get 9y equals -9. So that means y has to be -1. Okay, double check, make sure I got that correct. And let's try it. Submit an answer of 6, -1. These two lines, if we graphed them, would intersect at 6, -1. And they would. Okay, so you're going to have 4 of those to do. And then the last thing we're going to do is, they're calling it level 2 elimination. Let's take a look. Go to example 4 now. All right. So example 4, okay. Example 1 or level 1 was where you had to multiply by a negative or just leave them as they were because they were already opposites. Here, we want to get either x's to eliminate or y's to eliminate. What's easier to get rid of, x or y? What do we do to get rid of x? Times 2. Oh, okay, on the bottom by 2, but it has to be.
It could be the top 2 is multiplied by 2
Yeah.
Because then you can get -8.
Okay, we have 2 options to do it with that. We got to weigh all our options. One option, multiply the bottom by -2, right? That would make it -14, and then they would cancel. Second option, if you want to get rid of x, divide, well, it would be multiplying literally by a -1/2. Oh, okay, to get the 8, yes. By -1/2, someone mentioned this last year, and we never explored it. If you multiply by -1/2, that would be -7. Everything can be divided by a half, and that would work. Now, moving on to getting rid of the y's, I think the quickest one would be multiplying just by 2, since we already have a positive and a negative for the coefficients for y. So what shall we try, guys? What do you want to get rid of, x or y? Y? Okay, we're already there. Let's do it. That would be just as easy, I guess. So we get 28x minus 8y equals 80. Kind of dealing with big numbers, but hey, that happens sometimes. Okay, so I just recopy the bottom one. I'm going to cancel -8y with +8y. And this is what going to be what? 35. $80 and -10. This makes 70. So that means x is 2. After all that, we got x is 2. Okay. Pick an equation. Doesn't matter which one. Replace x with 2. I guess I'll use the bottom one here. So in this bottom equation, this x here, I'm going to change it to x 7 times 2. Plus 8y equals negative 10. Okay, get rid of this 14. So 8y is negative 24, which means y is negative 3. So let's do a negative 3 here. So 2 comma negative 3 is the answer we'll go with there. Let's try it out. So we're saying it's going to cross at 2 comma negative 3, and it would. All right, so you'll have 4 of those to do. So that'll be the assignment. Make sure you're caught up with all the assignments for this week by tomorrow. Okay, so if you want to check which ones you've done, which ones you haven't, even if they're not showing here anymore, just click on the little puzzle, the calendar piece. Click on the calendar. These are the assignments we've had this week. Just double check, make sure they're all there. They've all been dealt to math, so they should all be here, even if they're showing late, no credit. Do them anyways. I will give you credit. Make sure you complete all of them by tomorrow, and you'll still get full credit, okay? Any questions? All right, so let's get to it, guys.